My name's Anna Mae Martin, and we're from the Martin family in Golden Meadow. We're the two last living in Joe Martin's family. Out of 7 kids, we're the only 2 left. And this is my sister.
I'm Nancy Calais Martin, and I'm her favorite sister.
Her only one.
I'm my only sister.
It's not a compliment.
Oh, we had the best. We had the best.
Oh yeah, Mom and Pop were the best people. In other words, God blessed us with beautiful parents. They helped us all through the years and helped every one of us, the 7 of us.
What were their names?
My dad's name was Joseph Martin. My mother's name was Julie Collins Martin. And 2 loving parents. Pop was a quiet man. He was a listener. Mom was a clown. Oh yeah, you have to watch her. She could embarrass you. She used to tell kind of some raunchy jokes, you know.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. But we tried to civilize her when we'd bring her somewhere. We tried to tell her before, you know, don't talk dirty, Mama. Be good, you know.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Well, we were. That's one thing.
Oh yes.
We were poor, but we were rich.
Yeah,
and
the important things.
The
Yeah.
important things.
Oh yes.
And Mama would bring us to the dance. We couldn't go. We couldn't go to the show even by ourselves. Remember me?
Yeah.
They
And we still got in trouble.
Yeah. We couldn't go to the show, and with the boys and all. Remember, we'd walk with our boyfriend, and she would walk in the back of us though. We couldn't sneak a kiss or nothing.
No, but on Sunday afternoon, there we could go with just the guys and the girls.
Yeah, but at 2 o'clock.
Yeah.
At 2 o'clock.
We were back early in the afternoon.
And she used to bring us to the dance, but she used to enjoy that too, though. That's why.
Well, when Pop would, once in a while, Pop would rebel if I had a hard head. I still do.
That's it.
Yeah, both do.
Once in a while, Pop would rebel and he'd say, well, okay, I'm leaving to go trawling there. When I come back, I want to hear that you have not gone to the dance or the movies. That was all right with me. That didn't bother me because the minute he left, Mama wasn't about to punish herself. So we got to go anyway.
Yeah.
And I mean, he didn't question when he got back. He just assumed that I'd been a good girl and I'd gone dancing.
He trolled in the summertime, wintertime. He would trap.
Trap
We
what?
would go
Muskrats.
Muskrats.
Mink
and all.
Otters.
Yeah, we lived for 3 months. Could hardly wait till the trapping season starts. I didn't have to go to school.
Yeah.
I hated school.
That's why we're so educated.
Yeah. That's why I don't answer your calls later because I can't spell. I forgot how to spell.
No problem.
And Mommy said, "Me, you should have a dictionary next to you
right.
like you do."
They laugh at my dictionary, but it tells me what I want to know.
I have to call Anne or Juliet. How do you spell this word?
Now, the winter time was rough on Mom and Pop. I mean, it was hard, and we'd go in camps or a houseboat.
The houseboat, I remember.
Yeah, but they'd go and pass the trap lines, and when they'd come back, they'd pull the pirogues behind the big boat. So when they'd get back at the boat, everybody dumped their animals on the boat. And sometimes they had at least 300 or more animals that we had to get all together, me and her too, and we had to skin them. And it was okay if you were a gang doing something, you know, by yourself it wouldn't have been fun, but it was always joking and, and they made pretty brave kids out of us too,
Yeah.
if I remember correctly. The ghost stories and at night you'd have nightmares. But you see, they were good parents. We didn't know then that it wasn't good to scare your kids.
When I remember, I used to trap too. I really was a tomboy.
She
I used
trapped one season. I
Yeah.
helped you and you never gave me a share.
I don't even remember.
Oh, she got back home, she bought a cedar robe.
A cedar robe,
Robe, yeah, to
like an armoire.
an armoire.
Yeah.
That was made of cedar. It's at Eve. At Eve, we call it
Start with her then.
Oh, Tia.
Come to you.
Yeah, Eve is the French name for Eve. So she was little at the time when she was born. After that, she,
Yeah.
but they called her Little Eve, Tiev. You know. Well, she was a character. She took after mom. 100% after mom. Nothing like that, like pop. Well, anyway, she and a cousin of ours, Josephine Martin, and Eleanor Dago.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Eve used to hang out together, all three. And where they were, there was always something going on. In those days, when there was a pregnant woman in a family, well, they would buy a chicken and they would put it in a pen and fatten it up, because once the baby was born, that was a king-size chicken soup for the mother. Okay? Well, that was fine. So my aunt gave them some money, and they told them to go buy a chicken and get a fat one. So they left. They went to get the chicken, but they spent the money. And coming back, but there was always some chickens and cows. It was loose, you know. You had to watch where you walked.
I didn't have any fences.
Yeah, so they were coming back and they saw a skinny little chicken on the bayou side. So next to the bridge in Golden Meadow, well, people who hears this or sees this eventually, they will remember that there was the Louviers had a butcher shop right next to where the Golden Meadow Bridge is, across from the school and all. So they were coming and they were chasing that chicken, the three of them. I can see, remembering her, I could see it. So they were chasing, and one of the Louvier men came out, and he said, "What's going on?" She said, "Well, my aunt gave us some money to go get a chicken, and we dropped it." So he helped them steal the chicken. He helped them catch a chicken to steal it. And they got back to my aunt's house. She was upset because the chicken was fat. Little did she know it was also stolen. Now that's the stuff Mama would have pulled.
Yeah.
But anyway, another time it was straw hat. In the summertime, the stores were loaded with straw hats, all kinds. It was, and everybody had straw hats in those days. Maybe that's why they didn't have skin cancers as much. But anyhow, this is what happened here. They went in, right now, okay, we used to have our house where we were raised in, used to be right at the fire department in Golden Meadow.
Station, huh?
Fire station.
That's what I thought.
That's where we lived. Then eventually it was pulled across the bayou to 308. But anyway, the three stooges took off. Eve, Josephine, and Eleanor. They left. They went to the store. Now everybody had. There were two of them had a new hat, and the other one had an old hat. So they went. They were trying hats. And Finn had the old hat. So Josephine, we call her Finn. But anyway, Finn had the hat, the old hat. So what they did, of course, they passed it under the pile of, and she left. Yeah, and she left with a new hat. So they stole a hat. The other time, the store where Kirby is, this is the same store that took place in. Angelette's store. Anyway, another time they went to the store, and they had beautiful apples. They took an apple. My sister did. She took an apple, she threw it outside, and then they got what they were supposed to get, and when they got out, they was going to split that apple. But a cow was eating it.
There really were things just walking around with no fences. There was just a cow.
The cow was eating
No fence.
Oh yeah. That was it. So that's I could go on and on about her, but I
Lisa had never heard about that. And neither about the hat.
oh yeah. Then they were always together. Always.
We must continue.
Oh yeah, three sweet. Oh Manu, poor Manu.
Oh, Shavanu.
Oh yeah. Now he had what would you call? How would you call? He was defenseless. In other words, you couldn't do anything to him. He'd never lift a hand to hit or anything. He was good as gold. You remember him, Liz? And but they had gone to school, him and of course my sister, and they were teasing him because in French, Manu is almost like a cat, Minou, and they tell him, "Shut, shut, Minou." You know, this cat,
Yeah,
Minou.
shoe. Yeah.
Yeah. And then all he could do was he'd bite his finger.
And how old was he
this
about?
was thick.
How old are you?
They must have been in lower elementary because they
Okay.
didn't go very long.
No.
And Tia was following, you know. And when she jumped on the boys that were
Yeah.
teasing him.
Yeah.
And that was the end of that because when she got home, she said, when I got home, she said, the sleeves were this long on my sweater from being pulled. She was being pulled by the sleeves to get her off of the boys.
Yeah.
But I mean, that was her. I mean, still, so that was my new story. No defense whatsoever.
Yeah.
Good as gold.
I remember something when we were at trapping for Manu. I don't know if you remember that.
Yeah, the
The
cigarette
pig,
bag.
the pig, he was putting his stuff in the pirogue there. He was going to go check his traps. And the pig came, and their lunch was in a little can. Somehow the pig ate. He flipped it over, he ate it, and then I don't know what happened. If the pig was getting to the cigarette, he said, "You ate my lunch, you're not going to smoke for cigarette."
And Leona comes next. Now, what did we tell about Leona? Except Leona was always on the go.
Yeah.
Anybody that left to go somewhere, Leona was with them.
We call her Grom. Mama,
Yeah, Mama too used to love to hit the
She
road.
liked to rode. Leona too.
Leona one time, she left and Pop was calm, cool and collected. He was sitting on the porch and he says, "Leona, let's turn back." She said, "What, Pop? What did I do?" "Go put a dress on. Another dress on. It was too short."
Too short.
Oh, she was upset. Pop was strict about that. That was one thing. It had to be long enough. But she always went. She went to the post office twice a day. walk, you know.
C'est mourir, c'est pas bien.
Now comes
Luke.
Luke.
Luke
That's
used
a
to love
story.
to
That's another
he loved
story.
to drink. I remember that.
Luke used to go out with the guys and they used to drink. And they didn't hang out at good places. They had some pretty, dirty places with women. They were just as dirty as the place. But Luke was always doing something, going with this and that one. And Mom would worry sick because he was drinking so much, you know. And we used to have flatboats. They call them chalons, but flatboats. And they had, if you went somewhere, you had a chain on there and you'd have a padlock. So you'd padlock it let's say he'd go on this side of the bayou to go to a dance or whatever. He'd lock it, but coming back he was too drunk to unlock it. So he'd plunge and he'd swim across.
Uh-huh.
And Mama used to worry sick about it, you know, and she used to stay until he got home. It could have been 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. Mama was on the bayou side, sitting next to a drum so the wind wouldn't hit her, wrapped up and waiting for him because she says one of these nights he's gonna drown. But he always came out soaking wet. But he came back. And so that was Lou's story. Used to run the court games. And
legal card games or
uh-huh.
were these card games legal?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Then they were legal. Almost every bar had the
Oh yeah.
the
The
card games.
The poker,
What games were y'all playing? Poker, Pedro?
They played
Pedro, I don't know what if they did that. I don't think so. They used to call a game stirred. I don't know what it is. And they used to play poker. But okay, now who's next? You and me?
Let's talk about Nan. What kind of kid was she?
Oh, Aunt Nan, or she
I
was.
was quiet. When I was sleeping.
She used to be so particular with her clothes. She did not have a spot on her clothes. And I'd borrow it. She used to get mad when I borrowed my clothes because I was a pig. She didn't like for me to borrow it. I borrowed it anyway. So.
What else, Nan?
Ain't none.
I'm
She always smelled the Vicks Vapor Rub.
I used to put some Vicks in my nose.
I thought
Since
you
I
were-
was 12 years old.
Yeah.
I remember I had a headache all the time.
She
And
smelled
I
the Vicks
remember
out.
going on, I was 12 years old and I remember coming back from the Bernard,
Oh yeah.
and I was crying. I remember that I got in front of the school, I started to throw the headache. It was migraine headache. And when I got home, girl, she put some Vicks in my nose and the temple there, and the headache would go away. The headache would go away. Even
And
when I
me,
was
well,
little.
that's a horse of a different color.
Yeah.
I was busy.
Hey, Nan, you tell us.
Yeah.
Don't let mommy.
Yeah, but I can't. I forget.
Yeah.
I
I'm so
forget.
glad.
I'm older than her.
Yeah. Yeah, 16 months old.
Yeah. Yeah, but I'll forget.
Then y'all were always dressed alike, right?
Yeah. like
They used to
twins.
call her
Uncle Joe's twins.
twins.
We're always dressed alike.
And a lot of people didn't know who was who. They
I was blonde and you were like
light brown.
light brown.
Yeah.
But I was blonde, a freckled face blonde.
Yeah. I had freckles too. Remember, Elsie? we were walking. That was Rue Pochevich, the street there.
Yeah.
And we were walking, and I guess Elsie's mom and all used.
Yeah, Mama used to stop and talk to them.
Yeah, and Julius and Elsie were there, and what did Julius tell me about them? He says, "Boy, they're ugly. Look at their freckles. Never think they
Elsie, we eventually married. She married Julius and married Elsie. But Elsie used to tell me, "Shoo, look at that! How ugly they look." If we didn't know what they were saying, we never would have married them. Ah, shucks.
I don't know. All I've been thinking is when we used to go in Shania with the houseboat, with the houseboat, and we used to go walk on the bridge.
Oh, beautiful shells then you could pick.
Oh.
The island was wide and
That was a vacation.
yeah, a real vacation.
Oh yeah.
But
We stayed the whole summer there, and we used to go troll with Daddy. That's where we learned how to swim too, in Cheyenne.
yeah, you know, we first learned how to swim when we moved across the bayou.
Yeah, but in Cheyenne.
Yeah, but we.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we were swimming better over there. We
Yeah.
learned, but Pop tied because
A rope.
somebody would call. Somebody had to go take the flatboat and go get them across the bayou and bring them back.
How would they call? Just yell?
They just yell.
Come get me!
Yeah. You'd yell across the bayou and we knew to go. So, but Mama was scared to death. She was always like a mother hen, you know. And so Pop, what he did, he'd tie a rope and take us by the rope. We were young because he'd take us by the rope, the knot,
Yeah.
and swing us and throw us way out, you know.
We had
And
no choice. We would have
it's a
sacked.
sink or swim. She says, Joe, pull them in, they're gonna drown. No, Julie, no, Julie, called Julie in French. No, Julie. She said, Joe, they're gonna drown. No, Julie. And he did his own thing. He pulled us in when he was ready. We swallowed some bayou water.
We always had something to do. It's not the kids of today. It's boring. They always say that it's boring, but we always had something.
And then
to
they
do.
had that cement slab in the, on the side of the bayou.
We used to
It
skate.
was left over from
Shed.
a craft shed that they had at one time. So when Daddy bought the property, the bayou side came with it. So that was a skating rink. We used to do a lot of skating there. But we were pretty active. I mean, we always had something to do.
That's what I mean. We always had something.
Yeah, and we'd go walk and pick blackberries.
Oh. That's it.
We looked for berries and looked for snakes.
One time, I remember, like in the back of the house, we were. It's a river, lake in the back. I never saw it.
It's a lake.
I never saw it. But we used to walk, Milion and Ivella.
Used to walk.
See, all of us. We had a bunch of us. And I remember they had some blackberry, but I could see a big one. And when I came to get that blackberry, they had a snake on the leaf. I screamed, I threw them back, and I ran back in the house. I never went back. I never went back to a blackberry pig. Until today, I'm terrified of snake. When I see that on TV, I close my eyes. I'm terrified of snake.
Oh boy. And then came the boys.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nan was kind of sweet on the one on the up the bayou from the house, and I was sweet on the one on the down the bayou.
Our neighbors next door neighbor.
And our chore was to clean the yard on Saturdays.
Yeah.
So you talk about a clean yard on Saturday. And she'd pick her side and I'd pick my side and we'd clean the yard.
You went out there on bikinis or?
No.
We wouldn't be here today. We couldn't wear shorts, remember?
I was the only one that that dared to wear them when Pop was on the boat.
Yeah.
Shorts?
Oh yeah, short.
Remember what our cousin Leoncia? We couldn't afford, Mama. They couldn't afford to buy clothes when we were younger there, and she had given us it was a white short. She had given us a short to the maid. And Mr. Adolph, remember he had his houseboat on land,
Oh yeah.
and Daddy was trolling there, and it was each our turn to pull it. And one time,
we take turns wearing.
I don't know where, I don't remember I had the short when I came and Gron was sitting on the porch with him. Hey, if Joe would be here there, I don't know how I knew he said that. And our mama said, go ahead, take it off. That's the only way we could wear short. We had one, and it was a white short.
I remember the short.
And I don't, besides that, I don't remember having shorts to wear.
No, I had a cut pants later on.
Uh-huh.
I had cut a pants, a jean. But I remember that white short.
That
Yeah.
white short, we had to take. Turns.
And then speaking of boys, they also had there was a lot of activity at the house. We had older sisters. That was before they got married.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
they had the boys next door. It was the Bouzigard family. It was a large family, and there were 5 girls at our house, and there were a bunch of boys there, but different ages. So they'd get sweet on Ivana used to like Edgar, I think.
Yeah.
But I mean, I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't have said that if she'd still be alive. But anyway, and you and me, well,
We were young there.
we were young, and I remember sitting on the fence, on the fence and watching the boys. That's when I fell in love. 14 years old. I fell in love at 14. And I'd see that boy all the time. He was lived next door, and all of a sudden it hit me. But the bug bit me while I was sitting on that fence just watching them play marbles. And then I looked, I saw him for the first time, really saw him. And I don't know when you fell in love.
Tell us, Aunt Nan, when did you first fall in love?
When I moved across the border, the next door, I used to go over there, Chester.
Yeah,
I had a crush on him for a long time.
What was his last name? Was it Bouzigard?
Huh?
He was a Bouzigard?
No, Terrebonne.
Terrebonne.
I had a crush on him. And one time he had asked, I think it's for the 4th of July, I think I was about 15 or 16 there, to go to Grand Isle, but Mama wouldn't let me go. We couldn't go with boys.
And then with the war, he went in the service.
Yeah.
Chester went in the army, and the rest, the Navy. Chester
Navy,
in the Navy. The others on this side, no mentioning names because there's quite a few still alive.
Yeah.
Well, it was the army. That side there was the Navy. So, but they all came back home.
Yeah.
But that's about the extent of the.
But we had good times. That's why on Sunday, remember, everybody would come at the house. And we didn't have any TV, remember?
Mama was one of the gang.
Yeah, she was one of the gang. And remember the Sunday they had Paul Rules. They had, I'm trying to remember, Lyndon Cully.
Joe, Lee.
Yeah, well, I remember how many boys they had. But the girls would be sitting, and we had Loretta Gabriel used to come at home, remember?
Yeah, Eva Bruce.
And they had, Grum had the middle room, like they had a window on each side. But between the window, they had a bed. It has to be a twin bed. On each side of the window. The boys would sit on one bed, we'd sit on the girls on, and we would talk. We enjoy ourselves.
We joke and all.
We joke.
Oh yeah.
And then on the porch, we always had company. The boys would always come because they felt welcome.
And there was a swing on the porch, and we take turns, I guess. We sit on the steps. Mama was always doing something for the gang.
Yeah.
Now the ones that came for the older sisters, like Ivella and Leona and them. Well, when they'd come, the guys, I mean, they were young men. They would play marbles. They would play marbles. And Mama, I remember the old ice cream maker.
Oh,
I remember sometimes we'd take turns sitting on it so that they could crank it.
Mm-hmm.
They could crank it and it would move, you know. So sometimes we'd sit on it. And when it was ice cream for the watermelon season, Pop would buy 2 or 3 big watermelons, okay? He had the grandkids and all living in the yard.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, later on, but I mean, this is much later after when the grandkids were around. Well, when Ivella or Mama would scrub the porch, we knew what was coming. They scrubbed the porch, it was yellow like butter, you know, bare wood. Well, Pop would buy, and we lived across the ice factory. So as soon as he'd buy the melons, he'd put it in the ice factory in the freezer at the ice factory. Late afternoon, boy, take that flatboat, go get those melons, and it's the kind of melons when you'd stick the knife, you'd hear the cracking.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, red to the core.
It was sweet.
Oh yeah. And then after the party, there was the watermelon fight.
Mm-hmm.
Now you'd have some kids screaming and yelling, and some that wanted to play but not get touched. Mm-hmm. So there was a lot of activity going on. Oh, and then the thing I remember is the joking time when we tell stories, and
I didn't get it.
and then most of the jokes went right over her head.
Then I started to laugh for
But
everybody.
it was not a regular laughter, it was giggling. As soon as everybody stopped,
I didn't,
we
it
had
didn't
a double
register.
tree.
Yeah, it didn't register. It took me a while.
As soon as everybody calmed down, the joke was over. She got it. Then we all laugh again, she got the giggles. We knew she had caught it. And we phew. Anyway, Mama used to make her own wine, okay? And then, well, when it starts to ferment and everything, when they come up, and then
What was she making the wine from? Blackberries?
grapes or blackberries.
Blackberry is the best one.
Yeah.
So when the blackberries would come up,
Yeah, the berries come up, after it ferments and all. But you have to put sugar, you have to stir it, and I don't know how to make it, but I remember Mom making it, and she'd put, so that it would breathe, she had to put
Some gauze like that.
yeah, some gauze, like it's
Yeah.
a cheesecloth.
She's good.
Cheesecloth, and then she tie it around or put an elastic around it. And one day when she had strained it with the cheesecloth, she had strained it real good, and then the chickens were loose all over the yard, and she threw them. She threw all of that out.
The bear.
And then we sat on the porch, the steps, just watching. None of us, I don't think, it surprised all of us. All of a sudden, there was a chicken, she was going round and round and round. And then a rooster, he tried to crow, whatever you call it, and he couldn't. But I mean, he started to drag a wing. So he was going around in circles with the wing dragging in the dirt. Talk about a bunch of drunk chickens. That was comical.
so that was a one-time affair.
That was a one-time affair. Oh yeah. But that rooster, that poor rooster, I can still see him dragging his wing. Well, that's about it. And oh no, I gotta tell another one. I used to steal the cigarettes from Luke.
Ooh.
I used to steal some cigarettes from Luke, and Frazier, her family owned the Lafourche Cafe across the bayou from where we live. So Frazier would come home. I was working at the Lafourche Cafe. Remember that when I worked there?
Yeah.
And anyway, so sometimes Frazier would come, I'd go cross her, or somebody would cross her, and she'd steal some from her daddy. And we were secretly smoking, but it was the outhouse there. And they have the little bitty windows on the sides of an outhouse. You gotta air out. And we thought we were getting away from it. And Mama she says, y'all smoking. She says, the smoke is coming out through the little windows. So we knew we were caught. But we didn't get in trouble. Mom never caused us to get punished. She knew better. She knew she was going to be punished too.
What about, I remember you telling me a story about Mardi Gras, was it Mardi Gras with the boys around town would go around scaring the ladies?
Oh yeah, they'd walk up and down.
This was for Mardi Gras?
Mardi Gras. They'd dress and disguise themselves but scary. And they'd walk up and down the bayou.
I think they started at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, the walk.
I don't know, but
It's a gang.
It's a gang. And they'd go in the yards and they'd scare the kids. I mean, we used to...
I remember when I think it was Victor Martin. I didn't know it was him then. He chased me and I was screaming. I went, they had the middle room. They had 3 rooms, remember? 3 bedrooms.
3 bedrooms.
I was in the back of the door. I was screaming. He grabbed me. We were scared.
You have to drag the kids from underneath the beds.
Clothes or something?
Mama was used to. She didn't need Mardi Gras her to do. Mama would wait till everybody was quiet and we were playing or something, and she'd put
With a
an
sheet.
old hat or a sheet, and then she'd come to the screen and screams all over the place. All over the place. That's what I mean. That's why we were chicken. I mean, for a long time I didn't want to sleep alone in the house.
I remember one time she must have been. We were in the kitchen. She went to the room, and a little while after, she was on all four, and she was crawling, and she had the sheet over her head. You remember that? It was at night.
I don't remember that part, but
I was scared.
you know, they used to have, this is a little off color here, but I mean, we're gonna go with it anyhow. Anyway, they used to have the chamber pots. That was the inside plumbing.
Yeah.
You just carry it to the bayou the next day. So Mama had gone to get the chamber pot underneath the water cistern. Okay? And Tiev took the sheet and put it on her head and went to scare Mama. And Mama said, if it's from the devil, she got scared. And she said, if it's from the devil, she says, make it disappear. But if it's not, and you don't get out, I'll split your head something with the pochoma, with the chamber pot. She moved. Mama was ready to crawl over with the pot. No, Mom. She said, it's me. It's me, Mom. We're not gonna go there, but Pop was quiet, but not too quiet. Pop was kind of. He was a woman chaser. Yeah. He used to sneak out. He used to sneak out. He had a girlfriend.
Yeah?
Oh yeah. And one time he got the husband was coming, but he used to tell us that story and laughing. That's what he said. They were collecting the rain. They had the rain barrels. He jumped the window. Right the barrel.
How about the time that Daddy had gone to see the girlfriend, and his brother, Uncle Aramis?
Yeah.
And I don't know why, but Mama used to wear the
sunbonnet.
Sunbonnet, but she didn't wear that to go to bed. That's why I can't understand why Uncle Aramis did that. And he says, don't say nothing. He said, get on, I'm going to get in bed and wait till he comes back. And
so Uncle Aramis took Mama's place.
He took Mama's place in the bed when Daddy came back, and he tried to hug Mama. And I don't know what he said. Then all of a sudden, Uncle Aramis, he had covered his head so Daddy wouldn't recognize. But Daddy thought it was Mama that he was hurt. It was Uncle Aramis. So all of a sudden, Uncle Aramis uncovered his head. Boy, Daddy was mad. I remember Mama used to say that often.
Oh, yeah.
Boy, he stayed mad a long time. But I think that he stopped after that.
Yeah, I think that was the last time.
That was the last time.
Table